All right, FightHype.com here, former two-division champion of the world, one of the best commentators ever did it, Paulie Malignaggi. Paulie, I just want to ask, because you know from personal experience, how is Adrien Broner's punching power? Does he have enough power to knock Pacquiao out, or if not, knock him out, hurt him?
I wouldn't say he's got one-punch power, but he's got good power to respect, you know, and he also has a creativity to his offense to where he can hit you with multiple shots if you're not defensively alert or if he catches you off guard, you know. I think you know, that's where he becomes dangerous to a guy who is susceptible to getting hit with combination punches, you know. If he's not able to hit you with combination punches, you know, he can get your attention with single shots, but I wouldn't say he's got one-punch KO power. But it's sharp enough, and it's definitely creative enough to where he can find the openings for it.
And didn't even have enough to get Pacquiao out of there if he puts the right shots together, you think?
If he puts them together, if he's able to put him in a position where he's able to hit him with multiple shots, yeah, of course. But I don't know. Again, I can only tell you from my experience. You know, you guys on my experience. I don't think I got hit with a combination in the whole fight. You know what I'm saying? Or at least not clean. You know, so single shots. Yeah. So, but I think you see the guys that he's able to hit with clean with a combination shots. He's able to hurt them or get them down or get them out. You know, so it's on AB and it's on Pacquiao to figure that out. But I think for AB to get in position to land those combinations, or even to throw those combinations, he has to negotiate the distance first. And to negotiate the distance, you have to figure out how to punch your way in. And that's where Adrien Broner has kind of lacked in his career thus far, is finding the way to close from middle range to close range. So we'll see if any adjustments have been made.
And what's Adrien, again, from experience, what is Adrien Broner's speed like? Was he one of the fastest fighters in terms of hand speed? I know Khan's really fast. How did his speed stack up?
Adrian's got very good hand speed, yeah. He just puts them together in little short bursts, but he's got very good hand speed. And again, when you mix it with the creativity of his punch selection, that makes him difficult to deal with. But again, it's only at a certain distance. You know, he's got to be at a distance where he can do all this. And if he's not at that distance, he's not as creative, and he's not even getting off as much. You know, Khan's probably the fastest guy I ever fought, but Khan was able to also have the range control a bit better.
Was Broner right behind him in terms of speed?
It was two different kinds of speed, because Khan knew how to control range very well, because you know he had the long arms and he had very fast feet. Broner's kind of more a guy who's there in place. He'll pivot and spin around you, but he's never going to go too far, you know. And he's going to have to step in. He's going to have to take that chance to step in harder. If he's going to be able to get off the better combinations. So it's two different kinds of speed, but both very, very good speed.
So talk about that distance. Does that mean he has to go back to what he did in the lower weights and walk Manny down, or not quite that?
Even what he did in the lower weights, when he had success, he still had this deficiency to his style. It's just everybody doesn't understand it because they didn't see it happening. You know, I noticed it in the Ponce de Leon fight, so when I fought him, I tried to keep that in mind. This guy doesn't cut range very well, so I'm going to get off fast shots at a further range, and he's not going to be able to cut the range as good, you know? Granted, you know, he got the split decision in a fight I thought I won, but nonetheless, you know, he's not going to make it easy for you unless you're naturally so much bigger than him, like some of the big welterweights were. You know, he'll make you work for it, and I think, you know, I don't think it's a case of him having to do what he did in the lower weight classes, because I don't think he ever changed anything. I think he's always the same guy. It's just as the level of opposition got higher, they control range better. AB's one deficiency is his ability to get into range in a creative way, because against a good fighter, he's just not going to allow you to get in range, the punching range you want.
Do you agree with that theory people subscribe to, where they say this guy hasn't gotten the most out of him, and they see a guy who should have been a great fighter, not just a world champion, but, you know...
I think AB has the ability to learn, but he has to learn what he never learned. You know, I don't think AB ever had what he's missing. You know, it's not like he forgot it, or it's not like, oh, this guy was so great and then he got worse. I don't think that's the case at all. I think AB's style is AB's style, and there was one particular deficiency that he was missing, and I don't think he ever learned it or picked it up, you know? And I think the press is probably a big part of that responsibility is on them, because they crowned him the king before he got there, and they made him feel like he was complete. And when you do that to a young fighter, you know, he kind of starts to believe it, you know, because he doesn't know that the weakness of the press. As he gets older, he'll see that they don't know what they're talking about. You know,
he was ranked 5th pound for pound heading into your fight.
Yeah, without a big win. You know, so and a very questionable, including one very questionable win against De Leon, which almost everybody thought he lost. So you probably. Again, once the media will start to do that to a young fighter like that, you know, they'll make him start to think that he doesn't have to learn as much as, you know, he maybe should, you know, or doesn't have to keep learning. He may think I've got it all figured out. So I think, you know, I definitely hold some of that on the media. You know, I think they themselves have ruined some very young fighters. I remember Francisco Panchito Bajado when I was coming up the ladder. They crowned him way before he did anything, you know, and that was another kid with a ton of ability, but you crown him too early, and then you make him not complete himself as a fighter because he's believing all the hype, you know, because when you're young it's hard not to believe your hype. When you get older you start to balance it out because you start to realize these people don't know what they're talking about anyway, so it's like, you know, let me figure it out, let me just balance it out because today will be positive, tomorrow will be negative. When you're young and it's all positive, you kind of start to see that it's like you think that's just the way it is, and you think you're complete when you're not.
And lastly, Paulie, man, what about, since we could take Manny in, this is probably one of his last big fights. Is he top 10, top 15 all time, one of the great fighters of all time?
Yeah, I think you rank him very high, you know. I don't know, you know, that's all very subjective, but you rank him high, you know. He's put on a lot of great fights for a lot of fans, and I think he's very appreciated.
I guess, like, is he highest caliber? Would you put him up there with Ali, Robinson, Floyd? Is he of the highest caliber?
Listen, I put him up, he's good. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to rank him for you. You guys, you're going to let somebody else do that, but he's been good.
Paulie, we're gonna pull you up so you can get moved through the line and do some more radio afterwards.
Okay, but I need some food though.
Yeah, we're gonna move you up in the line so you can grab it. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Paulie. Enjoying those Soprano reruns?
Yeah, man, I missed that show. Man, I miss those days. Forget the show, I miss those days.
Thanks, Paulie.